What's up, everybody out there in HeroClix land? This is Scott Porter. I am here for the second video of our series of the unboxing of Avengers Assemble, the new HeroClix set from WizKids that's dropping in May. If you didn't watch the first half, the actual unboxing portion of it, go back and watch it now, because this is the in-depth portion of it, where we're going to take a look at some of the characters' dials. We're going to take a look at some of the characters' cards, their special powers, any new game mechanics that we might have, like the Avengers ID cards, new keywords. We look if there's any more theme teams that we haven't seen before in HeroClix. We're going to do that all in this video. This is the fun stuff for the guys who really love to play the game, and the ladies as well. We are here in Northridge, California, just outside of Los Angeles at Enjoy Games and Comics. The reason we are here is because WizKids this year really wants to show everybody that it's stores first, players first. They love the brick and mortar stores and they love all the players out there. So I wanted to come to a store that I play at with a good group of folks that I play with. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Normally in these in-depth videos, I kind of pick some of my favorite pieces or some of the characters that I think bring something new to the game of HeroClix, and then we look at them in depth. We're going to change it up this time. We're going to have guys from the actual playgroup that I play with here pick some of the pieces, kind of be the voice of the people, and we're going to break down some of the characters that they love and that they want to see. Then we'll wrap things up. I'll pick some additional characters that might have a large interest out there in the community, and definitely take an even more in-depth look at the ID cards. So without further ado, let's get started. In-depth Avengers Assemble. People that play Clix here at this venue, they all play under one mighty ruler, our envoy. This is Jason.
Yes.
Jason, how long have you been playing Clix?
Since the beginning, since Infinity Challenge.
How long have you been judging?
Over 10 years.
How many nights a week or days a week are you running a venue?
Twice. My wife is gonna kill me one of these days.
What piece in this set really impressed you the most?
Well, I gotta be honest, I was very excited to see Power Princess.
Okay, why?
Because I didn't expect to see her.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take a look at her here. You go ahead and hold her. I will find her card, and we'll get into it. All right, Power Princess. She has the Exiles keyword, Ruler, Squadron Supreme, and Warrior. She's got a trait, Utopian Ideals. At the beginning of your turn, if Power Princess didn't attack during your last turn and wasn't hit by an attack since your last turn, heal her of 1 damage. So she's got a kind of constant regen as long as you're passing and keeping her out of harm's reach. Oh, man. She's got 500 centuries of combat experience, charge, and running shot, which she, I guess, switches into. Razor Edge Shield Toss. Power Princess can use Penetrating Psychic Blast and has a range of 7 with 3 targets available. Psychic Blast, 3 targets, range of 7 at some point.
Nice.
Utopian Deflection Shield. When Power Princess is targeted by a ranged combat attack that misses, after actions resolve, give the attacker an action token. If the attacker can't be given an action token, deal that character 1 unavoidable damage. So if you shoot at her and you miss, you're getting tokened. Or you're getting pushed and taking an unavoidable click. That's just for shooting at her and missing. Top that off with Energy Shield Deflection on some of her clicks. She's got a high 18D is what she starts with, and she's got that kind of constant regen that if you keep her out of harm's way and she doesn't make an attack, you just clear her, she gets a click back.
And plus she starts with Indomitable. Well, she doesn't start with it, she has it.
Yeah. She also has Indomitable. Let's see, let's click through the dial here real quick. She's got that 4 damage, and that damage power is that deflection shield. It's on her damage click. Stats are pretty hefty. She has regen on top of her trait. She has 3 clicks of regen on top of her trait, and she's Indomitable, so she won't be taking push damage herself. Pretty impressive piece. Now, why Power Princess? I know you said you weren't expecting her in the set. Is she a part of one of your favorite teams?
She's part of the Squadron Supreme. You know, it's Marvel's alternate universe superhero team. There was a miniseries years ago written by Grunwald. That's what made me love the Squadron Supreme in the first place.
So that first miniseries is what really, really drew you to the Squadron Supreme.
Yes.
It's nice because it seemed like they were poking some fun at some other books that were out there, but then they became this really great entity all on their own.
Yes.
And we've seen Hyperion in sets. We've seen
Whizzer.
So this is just a great addition to that team. And she's a Prime. We didn't draw 31A. We didn't draw the actual regular version of whatever this piece is. So that's going to be a surprise for people that are opening the boosters.
No idea what it would be.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
Oh, thank
you
you
for running events here. And Power Princess, man. Is she everything you wanted?
And more.
All right. Great. Who's next? Now we have Brennan. Brennan, how old are you?
I'm 15.
15. All right. We got Clicks players of all ages. I'm 35. He's 15. This is fantastic. This is why this game is amazing. Who do you want to look at today?
Rick Jones.
Rick Jones. All right. We pulled one chase today. That chase being Rick Jones. Now, what drew you to Rick Jones? Was it the sculpt? Was it the fact that he's the chase?
Well, many things. Because, yes, he is the chase. I like to see how, like, the transparency of the base. Also, I like how, like, the characters are printed onto the sculpt, and he comes with bystander token.
Yeah. All right. We'll take a look at what the bystander tokens do. We know he comes with them. We see Blazing Skull and Namor on the sculpt itself, like you just said.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see what he does. Summon the heroes I grew up reading about. At the beginning of the game, place a Captain America bystander token as included with this card, adjacent to Rick Jones. When a bystander token placed by Rick Jones is KO'd, place a bystander token included with this card adjacent to Rick Jones as per the following. This ability cannot be ignored. So, he gets Captain America to start the game right next to him. Then, if you KO Captain America, he immediately gets Namor placed adjacent to him. If you KO Namor, he then gets Blazing Skull attached next to him, and you get Captain America back if you KO Blazing Skull. So it's kind of a crazy ability. He's always going to have a sidekick with him at one point or another. Is that how you expected the power to work, or is that something brand new?
Something brand new.
It's crazy. Galactic Burst of Immobilizing Light. Once per game, when Rick Jones isn't on his first click, give Rick Jones a double power action when he is adjacent to an opposing character. Give all opposing characters on the map an action token. For each opposing character you can't give a token, deal the character 1 unavoidable damage. So once per game, Rick Jones can get a double power action and then token your entire opponent's team. And if they've already got tokens, you can push them all, which is nuts. Then the back of his card, he's got one more special power. That blast came from my mind. Rick Jones can use Penetrating Psychic Blast and Telekinesis. This is pretty fantastic. He's got a little Perplex. He's got some Incapacitate. He's got Energy Shield Deflection. His stats are pretty good. He's got Perplex to help himself out or help some people on his team out. He's got that Psychic Blast and Telekinesis power as well. And of course, he's got that double power action just waiting to happen. Seems to have a pretty shallow dial, but remember, he's going to have a helper at all times. Impressed? Not impressed?
I'm really impressed.
Really impressed?
Yeah.
Give him a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Who's next? Now we have David. David, how long have you been playing Clicks?
About 3 years.
Are you a big Avengers fan?
Of Avengers, yes.
What character do you want to see a little bit more of?
I kind of want to see Sandman.
Sandman. All right. Well, here you go. Let's take a peek at him. The sculpt is pretty great.
Yeah.
Now, why Sandman?
He's just one of those villains, not so villains, that just can kind of get anywhere and everywhere.
All right. Well, let's see what he's got here. We've got his keywords, and this is the interesting thing. It's like you said, he's a villain. He's also not a villain. So he's got Avengers, he's got Outlaws, he's got Sinister Syndicate, and he's got Wild Pack. No keywords that we haven't seen before. Let's see what his powers are. He's got something called Washed Away. At the end of your turn, if Sandman occupies a square of water terrain, deal him 1 unavoidable damage. All right, so it's a little tricky. It's one of those not so helpful traits. He's also got one called Quicksand and Concrete. Sandman can use Barrier and Smoke Cloud. When he uses either, you may place Sandman on this card. His terrain markers remain on the map, and at the beginning of your next turn, place him in a square into which he placed one of these terrain markers. Sandman may not be placed on this card if he was on the card during the beginning of your turn. So, wait a second. So he can use Barrier, or he can use Smoke Cloud, and then can remove himself from the board, and then place himself into one of the terrain markers that he placed on your next turn. So it's like you said, he's just one of those characters that can get anywhere at all times,
Yeah.
and they definitely use that with that trait. Is that kind of what you were looking for with this Sandman?
Yeah, definitely comic book accurate.
Yeah. Let's see. He's then got a bunch of named powers. He's got a little sidestep. He's got some poison, plex, moves into toughness and outwit there. An 18 impervious in the middle of his dial. That click is nasty though. Phasing, an 11 attack, 3 damage with exploit weakness, as well as an 18D with impervious. Pretty solid. Is he everything you wanted out of this particular Sandman?
Definitely. It's a big surprise in the set.
The trait of him removing himself from the board, that's everything that you want, because that's what you see in the comics, right?
Yeah.
He just disappears into the ground, and then you see this hand come up out of the earth, or like an ant, like he'll shape it like a hammer or something, and like bring it down on the guy. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no sweat.
All right.
Next, Now we're here with Chris. Chris, how long have you been playing?
Since the beginning with Infinity Challenge.
Okay, who's your favorite Marvel character?
Marvel character, I like a lot of different ones. Right now, I like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I kind of
I
a
am
lot
Groot.
of favorites.
I am Groot.
I love the Guardians as well. What direction are you going to go in? Who do you want to see?
I wanted to take a look at Loki.
All right, grab him. All right, let's see. He's got split dial. He can either be 225 points or 120 points. He's got Mystics, it looks like. Pretty good opening click. He's got some Mastermind, got 4 damage, 8 range. And that's the interesting thing about HeroClix. You played since the beginning, so back in the day, 10 range was everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
a
was-
lot of characters had big ranges. Now the ranges have been kind of reined in, more 5s and 6s. So an 8 range, that's kind of giant. Let's go ahead and take a look at his card. He's got a trait, Master of Illusions and Trickery. Loki can use shape change and succeeds on a roll of 4 to 6 instead of the regular 5 and 6. When an opposing character targets Loki with Outwit or Perplex, he can use shape change as if he were targeted with an attack. So he can dodge your Outwit and your Perplex. When Loki makes a successful shape change roll, he can't be targeted for the remainder of the turn. Whoa, wait a minute. So if you target him and you miss him, the rest of your team can't even take a shot at him. It's pretty Loki-like.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome ability.
I dig that. Oh, and here we go with some great names. Kneel Dog, kneel before the true king of Asgard. Whispers that cut like knives. Oh man, I love it. A lot of support powers, but at a point cost of 225 and 120, we expect him to be able to dish out some damage as well. Let's see. He's got that 4 natural damage on his opening click plus Outwit. Gives you a lot of options of what you want to take away. You can take away offensive capabilities with 4 damage. You know, you can still do some damage even if they have damage reducers. And remember, his shape change is traded. So,
He's got super senses and
yeah, great point. He's got super senses there as well as that uber shape change. The 4 to 6, yeah, good luck hitting him. You can't ignore him though, because he can just tear your team apart. Then he becomes more of a support piece. Then he's got regen that pops up and 10 movement with phasing so he can get himself out of harm's way. An 18 natural D. Wow. What do you guys think of Loki?
awesome.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next. All right. Next up is Jan, who is not only a player, but is also a judge. And we have been in some really, really fierce battles
Yeah, we have.
on the HeroClix field.
The one I remember the most is when you were playing your Runaways team.
Oh, the Runaways team with Chase, who we didn't get a Chase in this set. I was really thinking that Chase might be around Chase or Nico because they're a big part of the Avengers Arena and Avengers Undercover. Who were you playing that day?
I was playing I think I was playing an Avengers team, actually.
You were, and you had Thor's hammer.
Yes, I had Mjolnir.
Oh, and Thor picked up Mjolnir, so he had all these bonuses. Anyway, don't want to bore everybody out there. People care as much about your old HeroClix matches as they do about your NCAA brackets. But the Runaways were victorious that day. I still think we have pretty much a 500 record against each other.
Pretty much, yeah.
Fierce opponent on the battlefield, and I know you're a huge Avengers fan. Who's your favorite Marvel character?
My favorite Marvel character is actually Captain America.
So I'm guessing that's who you want to take a look
Yeah,
at.
that's the one.
He's all yours. Now, Captain America, this one is a super rare. Right off the top, his top dial is looking pretty fierce. He's got Indomitable. Okay, we know he's got a trait. Man, he's got a 12 natural attack. He does only have toughness on that first click. What is that?
I think toughness is appropriate for him. Anything more than that just doesn't seem right because he's only wearing like armor.
Yeah, he's got that vibranium shield, right?
True, that should grant him energy shield deflections.
Oh, there we go. Let's take a look at his card. Shield deflection angles. So, oh man. So here we go again. He ignores blocking terrain and elevated for his ranged attacks. Yeah, it's an Avengers world. Captain America and adjacent friendly characters with a lower point value and the Avengers keyword can use leadership. If they are named Iron Man or Thor, they don't have to be adjacent or a lower point value. Leading by example, Captain America can use energy shield deflection, traded energy shield deflection. When another friendly character with the Avengers keyword uses leadership and the result is 6, remove an action token from Captain America. All right, so hold on a second. He grants the ability for his teammates
to use leadership.
to use leadership. If you're Iron Man or Thor, you don't even have to be near him. And if any of them who get leadership roll a 6, he pulls a token.
That's pretty crazy.
But I mean, he is the greatest leader in Marvel Comics. Do you agree?
Oh, I'd agree with that.
We'll go ahead and click through his dial. Keeps that 18. Really high offensive values, toughness, but still a high natural defense. Then he gets some close combat expert, close combat reflexes to give him some defense up close, as well as his traded energy shield deflection. So he's rocking a 19D, up closer at range. He's hard to hit. If you hit him, he takes damage. 7 clicks deep. Not bad for the greatest leader in all of Marvel. Are you happy with that cap?
I'm very happy with how they designed this cap.
Are you going to be playing him all the time?
They might get tired of seeing me play him, but I'll play him as much as I can.
Are you're going to use him at Enjoy Games and Comics all the time?
Probably about every week, or
Yeah.
at least every week on an Avengers team.
He's probably going to beat me with that Captain America pretty regularly. Jan, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
All right. Next. Now we have Chris. Chris, how are you doing, man?
Good, good, good.
How long have you been playing Clicks?
I'm really new, so I've been playing for like 6 months, 9 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see. We love to see new players in the game. What brought you to HeroClix?
I think like you can only be a nerd for so long and not get into HeroClix. So
Nice.
yeah, I hang out with a lot of guys that play. So
Yeah.
or a few guys that play, and once I started, I couldn't put it down.
And out of the Avengers Assemble set, who do you want to take a look at?
I want to look at the Identicard, so I think I want to look at Hawkeye.
All right, Hawkeye. All right, let's take a peek at him. I love Hawkeye. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. Now, the interesting thing with this Hawkeye is I pulled the Identicard for him as well. So we'll not only look at his player card, we'll also look at the Identicard. Now, Identicards are brand new to HeroClix. Now, for you, since you're brand new to the game, how difficult is it to kind of go, what is a relic? What is a card? What is a...
I still have to stop a lot and I ask people for help, but that's the cool thing that I found about HeroClix is like everybody's so willing to be helpful and so willing to stop and like explain things if I have any trouble or whatever. So
Awesome. So as a brand new player, it's not very daunting. You still are into it. So when we see new game mechanics like this, I get super, super excited. Let's go ahead and take a look at his dial. Top-loaded energy shield deflection. Got some running shot. Pretty good stats, as he should have. 11 attack. He's kind of bare on the attack slot, which I'm used to seeing more of that energy explosion or a smoke cloud, and he's a pretty shallow dial. Let's look at his actual player card. He ignores hindering terrain, so he can, if you have stealth, he can see you. He's got like fish in a barrel. If Hawkeye targets a single character when making a ranged combat attack, modify his attack value by +1. So if he's only aiming at one other figure, he gets a bump. Trick shooting, give Hawkeye a power action to place an aim token on this card. At the beginning of your turn, if he has one or more aim tokens on this card, you may remove them and choose an effect that Hawkeye can use this turn. Ignore blocking terrain, elevation, or outdoor blocking terrain. Or a locked range of 14? Damn. Oh my gosh.
True sharpshooter.
Holy, he doubles his range.
wow, that's crazy.
That's pretty impressive, even for Hawkeye. He's got Avengers, he's got Martial Artist. I always love when a range character like Hawkeye gets Martial Artist, because if you run a Martial Artist team, a lot of times you have a bunch of close combat beasts with no range, but now they can have a little bit of firepower at range. He's got Shield, he's got Thunderbolts, but you said you wanted to see this new mechanic here. So it's pretty cool. They're hard plastic. They feel like a credit card, actually. So pretty high quality. They look great. Let's see. The Identicard costs 5. Now, there's a video online that you can watch that kind of shows you how the Identicards works. I'm going to read this once. If we look at any other characters with the Identicards, we'll know that setup and call and help work the same with every single one of them. The difference is the inspiration that they provide, and that's their inspire power. So let's see. When you use an Identicard, you're going to have this on a sideboard, on the side of your map. Now, the character's real name or the character's code name can work to activate this. So Hawkeye is his code name. His real name is Clint Barton. So I'm assuming that Clint Barton could work for Hawkeye, or he could work for Ronin, if you have a Ronin figure that has an Identicard with that. So you can have multiple Identicards that a character can work with. Setup. At the beginning of the game, choose a character on your sideline with a name or real name matching this ID card and turn it to a starting line. So it only works on the starting line. This character is called an ID character. You can't have more ID characters on your force than you have characters placed on the map at the beginning of the game, so that's good to know. This card is unique, so you can't use multiple Hawkeye Identicards. Call and help. At the beginning of your turn, you may activate one ID card per force. To activate an ID card, choose a friendly character that has no action tokens and is equal to or more points than the ID character's starting line. Give the chosen character a power action. Place the ID character adjacent to it. Okay, so the ID character comes in adjacent to the person that called him in. And then remove this ID card from the game, and your opponent scores it. And that scoring happens immediately. The ID character can't be carried, can't be given double power actions, replaced, or assigned resources. The ID character returns to your sideline immediately if A, at the beginning of your next turn, B, if it's not within 5 squares of the chosen character, that's the character that pulled the ID character into the game, or if it's removed from the map by another game effect. So basically what you do is you play your ID card and you pull Hawkeye in on his starting line. Now Hawkeye only has 1 point value, so he only has 1 starting line. So he comes in with all of his stats with the 10 attack, the energy explosion, which is great now after the rules change that it had a little while ago. You know, he's got his sharpshooter, he's got his 17D, and he does 3 damage. So you bring him in adjacent to the character that calls him, and then he can take an action that turn to help your force out.
Okay.
Now, if the opponent KOs Hawkeye by regular means before the beginning of your next turn, then they get 85 points. If he's still on the board and he pulls off for that A, B, or C reason, he only costs 5 points to call in for that 1 turn. So if you need a little bit of extra firepower, if you need a little bit of extra help, you can use him. The only thing with Hawkeye is he won't be able to use that trick shooting because you need a kind of a turn to put an aim token on the card and then to be able to pull it off. Now, as a new player, the Identicard, it's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Once I do it once or twice, and it's
there you go.
golden.
That's what it's all about. Well, man, thank you for
Cool.
coming on.
Thank you
dude.
so much.
And we hope to see you here at Enjoy again, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely do it.
All right, next. All right, now we're here with Trevor. Trevor, how long have you been playing Clicks?
I started about after Deadpool came out.
Okay, so pretty recently.
Yeah, I'm a pretty recent player.
Great. Do you love Deadpool? Is he your favorite character?
Yeah.
I see that by your shirt there. I see that. So Deadpool's not in this set.
Yeah.
But there are some characters in this set that you're really interested to check out?
Yeah.
Yeah? Which one specifically do you want to take a look at?
I want to take a look at Korvac.
Well, let's take a look at him then. Man, he is just massive. He looks great. Now, since you've only been playing since Deadpool, you've seen a lot of great sculpts then, because Deadpool was not wanting on rough sculpts either.
Yeah.
Man, you came into the game at a great time. Why don't you go ahead and click through his dial, just take a look at him, and I will grab his card. He's weighty, huh? Mm-hmm. That's heavy. Do you think you can find him in a booster? Is there going to be a lot of booster shaking with Korvac?
I don't like cherry picking.
Oh, he doesn't like cherry picking.
I want to
See?
keep it fair, so.
See, look at this. There's honesty. We need more of that in the gaming community. No, I kid. I like the fact that they gave him Badoon as one of his keywords, as well as Cosmic, Future, Robot, and Scientist. That's going to pull some old figures back out. So for the unrestricted tournaments, we can go ahead and pull out a solid team. We've got Grandmaster's Pawn. We've got Travel Through Time and Space. Now, it's interesting. He doesn't have any traits. Let's see what his powers do. Korvac can use phasing teleport. When he does, if he moves half his speed value or less after actions resolve, he may make a ranged combat attack as a free action, modifying his range value by -2. Let's see what else we have here. 210 points. I don't see a lot of really offensive specials, but let's see what his defense does. Download Galactus's knowledge. Once per game, when this power is revealed, stop turning the dial. Okay. Stop click. Korvac can use Invincible. For the rest of the game, Korvac can use the Power Cosmic team ability. Even if this power is lost, this power cannot be ignored. Okay. So we've seen that before where somebody all of a sudden in the middle of their dial gets Power Cosmic, kind of makes that jump and surprises your opponent. So this is a good ambush click. And then he's got a special power in his damage slot. I see everything. Korvac can use Outwit, Perplex, and Probability Control. So Swiss Army knife when it comes to support powers. Let's take a look at his raw stats, because I think at 210 points, we're going to want some pretty hefty stats here. He does start out with phasing, right off the bat, phasing teleport. He's got 3 damage with some Perplex. Psychic Blast goes through all the defenses like a hot knife through butter. He does not have Indomitable or Willpower, though, for a big money click like this until he gets to that 4th click. But now he has a stop click, so you can't hit him past this click. You got to stop turning the dial immediately. Then he also gets Power Cosmic, so there goes your Willpower. He can't be outwitted. He's got 5 natural damage and Probability Control. It's kind of like an extended starting click. You know, like a Hulk click, like a banner click?
Yeah.
Where it's banner and then it turns into the Hulk. This one's like a 3-click one like that. And he holds that Power Cosmic for the rest of his dial. 5 raw damage, Probability Control, and Psychic Blast, and Running Shot. Wow. So he gets pretty nasty. Gets impervious towards the end of his dial. Then he's got all 3 of the support powers. What do you think? Is he what you wanted, or?
Kind of. I expected him to be, because, he's a cosmic being. I expected him to be pretty powerful, like, up front.
Right.
But I don't know much about comics. I watched the Avengers Assemble, and I remember seeing Korvac in one of the episodes, but he did, in fact, start kind of, like, a little bit weak, and then he got his powers, like, later on.
Yeah. I like to call these guys ambush clicks. I'm not sure if I pulled him in a sealed, that was a 300-point sealed, that I would use him. I don't think he's an auto win, but still pretty impressive. And man, that sculpt just looks fantastic. Well, thank you again, man. I hope Korvac was everything you wanted him to be. Appreciate it, and I'll see you soon at a tournament here. Next! Now we have Mike.
Hi.
So what set did you kind of start playing HeroClix with?
Well, it was around the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh, it's a nice set. I like that set a lot. Are you a big fan of the Avengers?
I only know one story. My favorite was the Avengers Arena recently.
Oh, that's my favorite story too. As I said earlier, Avengers Arena is awesome. So I have a feeling I know which way you're going to go with what character you want to look at.
Of course, the main villain,
Oh.
Arcade.
Now, are you a bigger fan of villains or heroes?
That is controversial, but I like to see more of the villains, like what they're planning, what's the reason why they're doing this.
Okay. Arcade. I'll let you take a look at his dial and everything while I find his card.
He's just like how he is supposed to be in the comics. Supposed to be showy, all in glamour.
Yeah. I know they should have put some like glitter or some like sparkles around him.
Yeah, with the whole like glowing eyes or flowing hair.
I like it. He's got mind control, some poison, some mastermind, some perplex. That's exactly what you would expect the beginning of his dial to look like. He has the assassin keyword. He's got murder world, which I like. Welcome to murder world. He has a trait. When rolling to determine first player, no player receives a modifier to their roll. Okay, so he wipes out theme teams right away. When on a map whose name includes Arcade's Arena, ooh, so we are getting an Arcade's Arena map, which I'm very excited about. At the beginning of the game, you may start Arcade on click 7. Oh, okay, he's going to have a split dial, I think. If you do, Arcade has Power Cosmic and can use advanced targeting. You can ignore hindering terrain, and other friendly characters have the robot keyword for the rest of the game. Okay, so if you play on the Arcade's Arena map, all of your friendly characters become robots, which I like. And he gets Power Cosmic, so he's basically tapped into Murder World, just like he was in Avengers Arena, which is really, really cool. All right, let's see what else he's got on his card. He's got an attack special. I control Murder World. Sucks to be you. Arcade can use Energy Explosion and Precision Strike. If Arcade occupies a player's starting area, he can draw lines of fire and count range for his attack and damage powers from the square of any friendly character. Let's see. This is my world. You're just living in it for now. Arcade ignores poison and all but 1 damage dealt to him from an attack. After Arcade is dealt damage from an opposing character, you may place him in any square within any player's starting area. This power can't be ignored.
Wow.
So there's a lot going on with him. If you play him on his special map, he becomes super powerful. He gets Power Cosmic, and you start him at click 7, it said. So let's go ahead and click through his dial. If you play him normally from click number 1, it's kind of as you would expect him to be: the mind control, the outwit, the poison, the mastermind. And he has that kind of dead click towards the end a little bit. And then he stops. All right, so then you have his Arcade's Arena click that starts. And yeah, Power Cosmic with his 2 special powers. The I Control Murder World, Sucks to be you, where he can use Energy Explosion and Precision Strike. If he's in a starting area, he can kind of do that Professor X style, draw a line of fire and use damage from any of his friendly characters. And then he also has that This is my world, you're just living in it for now. Let's see how many clicks he has there.
3.
12 Psychic Blast, a range of 7.
Eesh. He's still there with strong attack.
Yeah, he's only 4 clicks on that, but it's going to be incredibly tough to get to him because he also has that special power that allows him to just jump sides of the map. You can flip sides of the map immediately. He's pretty nasty, and after reading Avengers Arena, he has to be kind of keyed into the world that he built and that he's running, that special death trap that he built. I think the figure does a pretty good job of playing off of that, especially with the map that he's tied to.
Yeah.
Would you play him without the Arcade's Arena map?
Just seeing the dial, I would. but just seeing the whole powers, I think it is necessary to see that concept of it.
So you got to pack that map with you every time you come.
Yeah.
And again, that trait where he completely ignores the theme team modifier to rolling from map, it allows you to really have a solid shot at getting the map you want, getting Arcade's Arena. So I can't wait for the new map. I can't wait to play him in the new set.
That are the other kids that are involved in there.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about turning all of the friendly characters on his team to robots is you can take Hazmat and Metal and Cammy and you can put them on his team and then they all get the robot keyword. Then they're kind of a theme team and he's got that omnipotent kind of power and he can kind of run them as he sees fit, just like he did in the storyline. So I think this is where they did a really great job of following a character-specific storyline, especially in the new Marvel Now world. I'm glad you picked Arcade. Are you happy with him?
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
No problem, man.
Okay, we've met all the guys here at Enjoy and some of their favorite characters and got to take a look at some of the figures that they really wanted to look at. There's a couple of characters I also wanted to point out to you guys, characters that I'm interested in or characters that have cool powers I think that you guys would really appreciate. So we're going to start with the commons. We're going to start out with Scarlet Spider. Now, what's so interesting about Scarlet Spider, you say? Well, we'll click through his dial real quick. Doesn't look like crazy powers or stats. He's only 60 points. Gets a little stealth, close combat expert. But that last click is what's going to do it. That special power on his defense. Let's take a look at his card. He's got a trait, Red Team. Scarlet Spider can use Sidestep if he is adjacent to another friendly character named Scarlet Spider. You have another clone. This is that defense power. Scarlet Spider can use Regeneration. When he does and the result is 1, you may choose to place him in your starting area on his starting click. So if you roll Regen with this guy on that last click and you roll a 1, you're lucky enough to roll a 1, you put him back on his starting click, you put him back in your starting area. Instant full regeneration and he goes back home. That regeneration power is crazy. Okay, now we're going to move on to Triathlon. Click through his dial real quick. Gets a little bump on his second click there. Has mostly standard powers. I won't be going through every single one of them. All right. The interesting thing about him is if you notice his number, it's 13A. So pretty sure that he's going to be the prime in this one. And that prime is going to be 3D Man. So look out for that prime to be in the common slot. I thought that was pretty interesting. Take a look at Reptile. Lower pointed. He's 70 points. No team ability. Pretty basic powers. He does have a trait. He's only 4 clicks. 70 points for a 4-click character. So let's see what makes him so special. The evolutionary path of the amulet. Reptile can use shape change. Once per game when he would be KO'd, you may instead turn his dial to click number 5 or click number 9, even if this ability is being ignored. So if he would be KO'd, you go to click number 5 instead. Now he has sidestep and he's a transporter. Or you can go to click number 9, which gives him a little bit of charge, some Blade's Claws with an 11 attack, a little bit of Battle Fury. So you can pick one of his other forms and then finish out the rest of the game. I like him. Let's see, Hazmat. Let's take a peek. I think Hazmat looks great. She's 86 points. Let's see if she's worth it. So let's take a look at her trait. The suit is for your protection, not mine. When Hazmat takes damage from an attack, after actions resolve, deal 1 penetrating damage to all adjacent opposing characters. So if you drop her in the middle of a tank-style team who is all running together, they better wipe her out with 1 hit. If they don't, she's going to start hitting them all with this penetrating damage. So she's like an uber poison, which is kind of nice. She can also use poison and deals penetrating damage when using it. So your impervious characters, your invulnerable characters, they better watch out because she's going to cut right through you. We'll take a look at Black Widow. She also has an ID card, so that's great. We'll be able to kind of look at how all of it works. She looks good. Running shot, a little 5 range. Indomitable, which is nice. She has 110 points, so she's a little costly. Let's click through her dial real quick for you. Special attack power there. Okay. Let's take a look at her regular card, and then we'll take a look at her ID card. Improved movement. Can ignore hindering terrain. She's a double agent. Black Widow can use shape change and stealth. When she uses shape change and succeeds, Black Widow can't be targeted by opposing characters this turn. So just like Loki, I believe, in this set, if you attack her and you miss because her shape change kicks in, nobody else can attack her this turn. And plus she has stealth, so she's going to be really hard to target in the first place. Let's see what her attack special is. Widow's Bite. Black Widow can use poison, but may be given the free action to activate it at any point during your turn. So it's not a front-loaded poison. So it doesn't happen at the very beginning of your turn. It actually happens whenever you want it to. So if somebody's got toughness, you can go ahead and knock them out of it. Say they get close combat reflexes, poison kicks right in. It's kind of nice. Now, again, we have these new Identicards. Like I said, they're like a credit card. They're very well produced. They look kind of cool. The things that'll be different with the Identicards, the setup is always the same. The calling in of help is always the same. But their Inspire, you see that last power, Inspire. When a character friendly to an ID character is in an adjacent square, they can use that ID character's inspiration. So if you're adjacent to her when you call her in for her inspiration, you modify your attack value by +1. So not only do they come in for one turn and are allowed to take an action, they can also help your team with their inspirations. So it's pretty cool the way that these things work. So that's if you have her sideboarded as an ID character. We're going to go ahead and move on to the uncommons now. I wanted to look at Forgotten One because he stuck out a little bit as an Eternal. So let me pull him. Go ahead and click through. He's got that Invincible into Impervious, that 11 attack with a 5 natural damage. Now he does have Battle Fury. He's got no range. He's got Sidestep. Oof. He's got some Quake. There starts his second line. Charge, Blades, Claws with a 3 natural damage. I don't always like to roll. I actually don't like to roll Blades when I got 3 natural. Unless I need it. He's got a couple of special powers in there. So let's see what those special powers are for this Eternal. He's not only an Eternal, he's also Avengers, so he can play with both of them. He has improved movement. He can crash through walls, which is always nice. The Discipline of Strength. Forgotten One can use Super Strength. When Forgotten One destroys blocking terrain and actions resolve, you may roll a d6. On a result of 2 to 4, Forgotten One may be given a standard light object from outside the game. On a result of 5 to 6, Forgotten One may be given a standard heavy object from outside the game. On the back of his card, let you take a look at it. Personal Molecular Manipulation. Forgotten One can use combat reflexes, regeneration, and toughness. When Forgotten One uses regeneration, he heals a minimum of 1, so you're always going to get a click back, and he had that special for the last 3 clicks of his dial. No range, though, in a set with a lot of it, so we'll see how he plays. Oh, gosh. The character everybody's been waiting for. D-Man. Let's take a look at his card first. D-Man has Avengers and Revengers keywords. Revengers we're seeing for the second time, as my very knowledgeable judge here at the venue, Jason, has just told me that Wonder Man had it once before. Look at his trait, Headlock Takedown. D-Man can use plasticity. When he hits an opposing character with a close combat attack, put a headlock token on their card. Remove all headlock tokens from characters not adjacent to D-Man. Characters with any headlock tokens on their card must roll a d6 when given an action. If the result is 1 to 3, the action ends immediately. If it's 4 to 6, remove all headlock tokens from that character's card, and the action resolves normally. Interesting. You put them in a headlock, but if they move away from him, they're not in the headlock anymore, so it only works if they're adjacent. That's pretty much all he does, D-Man. He gives noogies. That's D-Man's special power, giving to you a noogie. Let's take a look at Justin. Anybody that recognizes Justin, he's from the Tsunami line, had a series called Sentinel where he controlled like a Sentinel that he found and rebuilt. He looks a lot like a support character, especially with that 0 on the damage slot. But he's got special powers, so you just never know what to expect. Let's take a look at what his special powers actually do, and this is where he gets interesting. Rebuilt from the ground up. When building your force, choose a friendly character with the robot keyword. The chosen character is Justin Seifert's Sentinel. Then, his attack special, program in a new prime directive. Give Justin Seifert a power action if he is adjacent to his Sentinel. When he does, his Sentinel may be given a move action as a free action, and then it may make a close or ranged combat attack. His last special, Mechanical Tinkerer, Justin Seifert can use support, but only to target characters with the robot keyword. When he does and the character heals, that character modifies its defense value by +2 until your next turn. So he is really all about supporting a tentpole type of character that you can have with a robot keyword. Then he helps that one figure become a lot more dangerous to your opponent. The last comment I want to take a look at is Cammy. She's actually one of my favorite characters right now in the Marvel Universe. The little orphan found by Drax initially had a huge role in Avengers Arena and Avengers Undercover right now. She doesn't look like a ton on her dial, but you underestimate her at 51 points and she might be able to hurt you. She got a 5 range. Looks like she's got a trait. She's got some improved targeting or movement there, so let's see what she does with her card. Aha, there we go. Improved targeting. She's got thermal goggles. She ignores stealth, basically. She ignores the hindering terrain. Resurrect in my town, will ya? A theme team may include Cammy and is still a theme team if it includes a character named Drax or Drax the Destroyer. Adjacent friendly characters named Drax or Drax the Destroyer can use regeneration at any point. Cammy can use Perplex, but only to target herself or a character named Drax or Drax the Destroyer. So already she's going to play nice with some characters from some other sets, which is always fun to see. Anti-personal mines. Give Cammy a free action and place a mine marker in an adjacent unoccupied clear square if there are 2 or less friendly mine markers on the map. Even if this power is lost, whenever an opposing character moves through 1 or more squares containing Cammy's mine markers and actions resolve, remove those markers from the map and deal that character 3 damage. Now, it's not 3 penetrating, but it's nice to set these little mines all over the map. And they're free actions, so you can keep on placing them. So kind of like some of those characters that have free action barrier, you just got to remember to do it every turn. With Cammy, you got to remember to lay her mines. Show you the back of her card. Moving on to the rares. We've seen a lot of Hulks over time. I wanted to take a look at this one. He looks great. I love they even got like the veins in his arms. I don't know if you can see that. Like the detail is just getting phenomenal. Now that they use the laser sculpting, we don't have a lot of like the cross-eyed figures anymore, or the figures with like one eye drooping off their face, or an eye where their mouth should be. Let's go ahead and take a look at his dial. He is a giant. A lot of the Hulks now are, so it can be a hindrance sometimes. Base stats, let's see if he hulks up like they usually do. Yep, defense starts going up. Yep. Getting even tougher. Oh, up to a 19 with Invincible. With a 12 attack. Oh, but he's a short dial Hulk. That's it. 8 clicks. Oh, he's got a free click at the end. All right, what does that mean? I don't know, guys. That looks to me like a banner click. Let's check out his card. He's got a trait. Puny Banner. Once per game, when Hulk has 2 action tokens, you may give him a free action and turn him to click 11. So that's that banner click. Once per game. So what do you do after you're done with that? Let's see if it says anything else on the back. Leap Smash. Hulk can use Flurry and Leap Climb. When Hulk uses Leap Climb after actions resolve, he can use Quake as a free action. Fantastic. Full movement Quake. Thank you, Hulk. All right, we'll look at the back here. Now we go. This little defense. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. When Hulk would take damage from an opposing character, instead, turn his dial clockwise, a number of clicks equal to 2 plus the amount of damage taken. Hulk isn't KO'd when it reaches a KO click unless he stops turning the dial on that click. This power can't be ignored. Okay, hold on a second. Well, the only time he has that defense power is on his banner click. So if he gets hit for 5 clicks, then you turn him clockwise, which is this way, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. He's onto a massive click. So that's how you get off the banner click. You take the damage, add 2 to it, and spin it clockwise. Man, pretty brutal. Luckily, you can only use the banner thing once if you're facing him. Your opponent can only use it once, but still, interesting take on the Hulk. As many times as we've seen him, I always wonder how they're going to reinvent these characters. They managed to do it that time with the Hulk with that really cool kind of banner click. Another character that I didn't know how they were going to deal with is Captain Universe. If you read the books, she's insanely crazy and insanely powerful. Let's go ahead and take a look at her dial first, then we'll look at her card. She's 165 points. Has the Avengers keyword. I thought she might get Power Cosmic. She doesn't seem to have it unless it's a part of her powers. She does not have any traits. No improved targeting or movement. So pretty base stats, it looks like. Let's see what the... Oh. She gets a little wicked on that last click, but that does seem to be her last click on click 7. Pretty nasty click, but without any Indomitable or Power Cosmic. Let's see if she has a way to push without taking damage through her card. Through the universe where I am needed now more than ever, the Unipower. Give Captain Universe a free action and choose one. Incapacitate with 3 targets, Telekinesis, or the Power Cosmic team ability. Captain Universe can use the chosen effect until she chooses again. Now, it doesn't say if that power goes away if you keep it, so if the power goes away, you probably lose it, but you could at least have Power Cosmic for a little while. So it's like I thought. She has it in one of her slots. Then she has Balance in the Universe. Captain Universe can use Probability Control. Captain Universe may use it to re-roll a critical hit or critical miss regardless of range or line of fire. Now, that doesn't say targeting her anywhere on the map. So that's pretty sweet, actually. If you have one of the linchpins of your team roll a crit miss way across the map, she can make sure that it does not happen. Nice. Nicely done on Captain Universe there. I want to take a look at another character with an Identicard. I want to take a look at Jarvis. The sculpt is great. I think it's perfect. It's got the little nod to the big 3 of the Avengers, if you will. He's got stealth, which I love. He knows how to run and hide when he has to. He's got 1 special power in his defense slot, a little bit of Perplex, a little bit of Enhancement, a little bit of Willpower. We love Jarvis to death. He's very, very shallow as we expected. He is only 40 points. He has 2 traits. There's still a few Avengers in the mansion left to help. Jarvis counts as 3 characters for determining how many ID cards can be added to your force. Another trait I tidied up. Friendly characters can ignore hindering terrain for movement and for targeting, but only if they occupy indoor terrain. They got to be in the mansion. The Heart of the Avengers. When Jarvis is adjacent to a friendly character with the Avengers keyword, reduce all damage dealt to him to 1. If Jarvan has taken damage from an opposing character since the beginning of your last turn, he ignores all damage dealt by opposing characters. This power cannot be countered. That's pretty cool. I mean, he's got a shallow dial, but he's got a way to avoid being one-shot KO'd, which with a 40-point character that only has 4 clicks is like probably your biggest worry. The last rare I wanted to look at is Black Swan. I wanted to look at her because she's so enigmatic in the books. You're not really sure what she does, how powerful she can be when you first start reading that whole Avengers run with all the worlds colliding. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody out there. She's got Power Cosmic, 130 points. Got Invincible. She's got 1 special. She goes up to an 18 with Impervious. Got a little charge, got a little sidestep, got a little Psychic Blast with a 5 range, got some toughness. Another special power that appears. She's a lot shallower than I thought she might be. But let's see what they did with her powers. Let's just see how powerful or not powerful they made her based on what we've seen of her in the books. She's got Hurry to each threatened world. Black Swan can use Phasing Teleport. When she does, after actions resolve, she can make a close combat attack as a free action. Again, this is a full movement attack with a base 4 damage, by the way. So this is the interesting power. You have failed to stop the incursion. So on that last click, she has this special defensive power. Unless this click is revealed due to taking damage from an opposing character, immediately deal Black Swan 1 unavoidable damage. At the beginning of your turn, if Black Swan is the only character on your force, KO all opposing characters. This power cannot be ignored. So, you get hit, you end up on your last click. You take damage. You can't push her to it because if you push her to it, you click to KO. But if they click you onto it, and then they don't manage to wipe her out, so if they don't have any attacks left or cannot find her, or you move her out of there, you're going to KO the entire team unless they take her out. So you better know Black Swan's dial, and you better know that you can KO her, because if you can't, game over immediately. That's crazy. I wanted to take one last look at some of the super rares that are in the set. A character that everybody has fallen in love with, Miss Kamala Khan. Miss Marvel. Take a peek at her sculpt. I love the book just because it's so much fun. Take a look. She's got shape change, of course, some toughness. She's got a special power there. Get some invulnerability. Again, a shallow character, only 66 points though. So like I said, not a huge amount of heavy hitters in this set. Let's take a look at her powers real quick. Again, I love this set because it brings in so many figures that we have not seen before, and a lot of the younger heroes. So that's why we see a lot of the lesser pointed characters. Embiggen. We've seen them use this name for a power before. Embiggen. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose one. You can go giant and super strength. You can go tiny and stealth, or colossal and close combat expert. Miss Marvel has the chosen combat symbol and uses the chosen power until your next turn. So, I mean, she can choose to be any size she wants to. She can hide if she needs to, which actually allows her a lot of versatility. I like it a lot. Let's see what her other power is. Polymorph. Miss Marvel can use shape change. When she does, on a result of 6, you may heal her 2 clicks. So another shape change regeneration combo. You used to see a lot of like the charge flurry, the charge super strength, all those combos. This shape change regeneration is an odd combo that you've seen more than once in this set. But she's a welcome addition to the game of Clicks. We're glad to have her. I want to take a look at one of the Rangers, Red Wolf. Now he has the animal, the Avengers, the Rangers, the soldier, and the warrior keyword. He's also got a little detachable Lobo here, who's got his own little stats printed on the dial. I love that they do that now, so you don't have to just worry about cardboard characters. He slides on, he fits right on Red Wolf's base. A lot of charge, super strength. A little bit of stealth towards the end. Let's look at his card. In the wilds, he's got improved movement, ignores hindering terrain. Lobo, faithful wolf companion. Red Wolf begins the game with Lobo attached. While Lobo is attached, Red Wolf can use Flurry. Give Red Wolf a free action to remove and place Lobo in an adjacent square. Training a new cub, give Red Wolf a power action when he has no action tokens and Lobo has been KO'd. Reattach Lobo to Red Wolf's base. So if you lose Lobo, just give him a power action. He gets Lobo back, and then you can free action release him again. We've seen this a number of times with different characters. Oweodata came to me. Red Wolf can use combat reflexes and super senses. If he's occupying hindering terrain, he can use willpower. And there's Lobo's stats again. But it's nice to see kind of an older Avengers character. I like that how they said on the outside of the boxes, Avengers past and present. He's definitely from the past. It's nice to see him. The last one we're going to go with today is it's so pretty. The Iron Man in this set. It is. He looks great. Love that color scheme. It might look like hypersonic speed there. It's not. It's running shot. Just so everybody knows. But never mind that. Let's look at the 5 natural damage with probability control and the 18 invincibility that goes into impervious. Up to a 19D with probability control. Still psychic blast. Then we get the hypersonic speed with more invincibility, range combat expert, little sidestep, and some regeneration towards the end of the dial for 2 clicks. And a little, you know what? A little bit of stealth to boot. Yeah, if you haven't had a hard enough time getting through all the invincibility and impervious, he gets the regen towards the end of the dial. He looks great. He comes in at either 242 points or 125 points. We'll take a look at his card. Thermal imaging, sees through stealth basically. He ignores hindering with that improved targeting. It's an Avengers world. Iron Man and adjacent friendly characters with a lower point value and the Avengers keyword can use defend. If they are named Captain America or Thor, they don't have to be adjacent or a lower point value. So earlier we saw that Captain America had It's an Avengers world, and he allowed people to use leadership. And if it was Thor or Iron Man, they didn't have to be adjacent to him to use that leadership. Iron Man grants defend with that 19 defense. Excuse me? Oh, it's going to be nasty. Let's see the rest of it. All straight name powers on the back. Everything that I would want an Iron Man in this set to be. Well, it's been a long journey, but it's been an incredible one. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout these 2 videos as we did the unboxing of Avengers Assemble. Once again, we are at Enjoy Games and Comics in Northridge, California, just outside of Los Angeles. If you are in the Los Angeles area, please, please, please stop by and see Brainy here at the shop. He is a fantastic owner. He knows his stuff, loves games, loves comics. It's one of the best shops around. That's why I've been playing here for 5 years. Again, Avengers Assemble comes out in May. It's a full set. You've got 12 super rares, you've got 4 primes, you've got chases. We don't know how many. I hear rumors of 4 of them. We're not sure exactly what the theme of the chases is, but we got Rick Jones today, which was very cool. Saw some really interesting powers. Saw a lot of the Initiative kids, a lot of the Avengers Undercover kids, a lot of teenagers, a lot of lower pointed characters, and of course we saw Identicards. So please, please, please run out to your local store in May when this comes out. Play at your venue. Again, WizKids love stores. Stores first, players first. Everybody out there, please feel free to give us feedback underneath the comment section if you loved the video. Come back for more Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. later this summer. We're doing a really interesting unboxing for that. Once again, I am Scott Porter from Enjoy Games and Comics. Did you guys have a good time? Yeah! All right. They thank you for being here. I thank you for being here. In the future, may all your roles be critical hits. Avengers Assemble! Peace, guys.